This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
It's Thursday, March the 26th, 2015, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Good morning. We begin with news that while the government has recently been threatening to tell all on the Crab Hill Police Station fiasco, the latest report of the Auditor General, Lee Trotman, revealed that the matter has been handed over to the Solicitor General, Jennifer Edwards, in an apparent attempt to recoup monies. The Auditor General's report specifically notes that the construction process for the St. Lucie project had been plagued with problems, resulting in major delays and a near quadrupling of costs, which rose from an initial $1.4 million to $4 million. Trotman said the project was brought to an end by the original contractor on 2 occasions and eventually had to be turned over to a new contractor for completion. However, a senior government official told Barbados Today that the Frontier Stewart administration was in possession of a more detailed report arising out of the Auditor General's investigation. Now, after promising in November 2005 to pay 8.5% interest to an investor in the Executive Flexible Premium Annuity, or EFPA, financial instrument, CLICO Insurance Company Limited halved the rate 5 years later amid a dramatic downturn in its financial fortunes. Barbados Today was shown one of the contracts for the financial instrument signed by the former chairman of the parent company CLICO Holdings, Leroy Paris, and his former second vice president, Terence Thornhill, which clearly promised investors an interest rate of 8.5%. However, 5 years later, as CLICO Insurance Company Limited began to experience a run on its resources by policyholders and other investors following reports of an imminent collapse, management was forced to halve the interest rate on investments in some cases. See all the details in our e-paper. Meanwhile, the former chairman of the Oversight Committee appointed to look into the operations of CLICO says it adhered to the directives contained in the Memorandum of Understanding. William Lane, who is also a retired permanent secretary in the Ministry of Finance, gave this assurance to investors and wider Barbadian society during an interview with Barbados Today. Lane explained that after May 12, 2009, the Oversight Committee was mandated to ensure that all expenses at CLICO were legitimate. These included wages and salaries for members of office staff and wages and commissions for insurance salesmen in the employ of the company. More on this can also be found in our e-paper. The bustling Bridgetown Port is expected to complete a Barbados $100 million upgrade and capacity boost by October this year. The news was delivered yesterday afternoon by Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Port Inc., David Jean-Marie, while making a presentation on business facilitation at the March Business Luncheon of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Jean-Marie told the audience that it comprised business leaders and Minister of Trade, Industry, International Business and Small Business Development, Donville Innes, that the capital investment includes a new $50 million berthing facility dedicated to handling all cargo, thus separating the cargo handling area from cruise passengers. He said the investment also covered a $24 million state-of-the-art equipment package, including such items as new Panamax crane, 15 forklifts, electric straddle carriers, and additional cargo handling equipment.
We are currently developing a building berth 5 that's happening as we speak, and creation of a more secure ISPS security zone defended port. Berth 5 is on the way, as I said earlier. We pushed it out berth 5 completed by October because we expect to have this in Barbados for the first time 2 new cruise vessels, the Britannia and the My Chief 3. They cannot be accommodated in the current port. As configured, we have to have Berth 5 completed in order to be able to facilitate those vessels.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Welcome back with news from the region that a disturbing increase in sexual assault cases in St. Lucia have raised alarm bells in that country. This coincides with a brutal rape in the north of the island last week and news that a young girl managed to evade her captors this week after he grabbed her and pulled her away into the nearby bushes. The teenager remains traumatized and the community fearful in the wake of the assault.
And wants justice after a man grabbed a 14-year-old girl on her way to school on Tuesday morning, dragged her onto a banana field, and started to remove her underwear. The brave young girl kicked her captor, and when he stumbled, she made a frantic dash for home and into the safety and comfort that sometimes only a mother's arms can offer. Her family is livid, demanding justice so that the person responsible for this frightening early morning assault can pay for his actions. Her mother says the community will not be safe as long as her child's captor is free.
One day after police instituted roadblocks that cripple the streets of Trinidad, disgruntled prison officers have taken industrial action. It resulted in cases being adjourned and courts shutting down. More in this CNC3 report.
On Monday, thousands of people attempting to make their way to various parts of the country were severely hampered due to extensive roadblocks being conducted by police officers. Many speculated and questioned whether that heightened activity was linked to the ongoing wage negotiations between the police and the chief personnel officer. On Tuesday, similar answers are being sought from prison officers.
Sometime last week or week before, officers were expressing dissatisfaction. I cannot tell you going forward whether or not officers, but I know for a fact, and this is something that I will not deny to the public at all, prison officers are very disgruntled.
Speaking via telephone on the CNC3 Morning Brew program, the Prison Officers Association President Seren Richards placed the blame solely at the feet of the CPO and Finance Minister, as he accused them of not negotiating in good faith.
On the global front now, airstrikes have started in Tikrit, where Iraqi and coalition forces are battling to wrest control from ISIS. Commanding General of the International Coalition, Lieutenant General James Terry, said these strikes are intended to destroy ISIS strongholds with precision, thereby saving innocent Iraqi lives while minimizing collateral damage to infrastructure. Tikrit, best known to Westerners as the birthplace of former Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein, fell in June to ISIS, which has captured large areas of Iraq and Syria for what it says is its Islamic Caliphate. On March the 1st, Prime Minister al-Abadi ordered Iraqi forces to retake Tikrit and Salahadin province.
This is what victory looks like in the war against ISIS. Iraqi police, soldiers, and paramilitaries flash the sign, but there is no fanfare for the victors in the newly conquered town of Adur outside Tikrit. A drive through Adur, passing by ISIS's logos painted on the walls, is an eerie experience. ISIS has been driven out of this town and probably will soon be driven out of Tikrit. But what they leave behind are ghost towns. Almost all of the local inhabitants have left. It's dangerous. There are hundreds of IEDs left behind.
And that's our Barbados Today morning news update. But you can join us again this afternoon. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper and email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune into Channel 101 online TV and Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.
This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.